Another episode of Much to Do About Nothing, the show where me and Joel take our love for a whole bunch of nothing and force you to listen to. All right. My co-host is always Joel. What's going on, Joel?
Going on, Juwaan. Good evening.
Got some pretty good news today. Today was a good news day. Giants fired everybody in the building except for the one person they, I guess, needed to fire.
Arguably.
Chargers are idiots. There's a whole bunch of stuff happened today. But let's start with the one positive thing sports-wise, and that's the fact that the Knicks picked up a win tonight.
Yeah, a convincing win.
I tell you what, it was such a convincing win. When I woke up, I swore I was in the Twilight Zone. This is a team that the Knicks are very hot and cold with. The Knicks will win like this, and then you'll go, okay. And then they'll play them again on like a random Tuesday, and then the Knicks will get blown out by like 15, and you're like, I don't understand. Like, nothing changed with the Spurs. I don't get it. Why did you lose? like the team didn't get any better. What are you doing? So apparently we out rebounded them by a little bit, but still nonetheless out rebounded. RJ went bananas.
He had a great game. Yes, he did.
RJ had such a great game. I assume Julius Randle called out sick today. He had to. No way Julius Randle played also. It's just I'm sorry. I know math well, and 1 + 1 is always 2. RJ had 31 tonight. The second highest was Evan Fournier with 18, and then Alec Burks with 16. So again, I'm assuming Julius Randle did not play. But this is a good win. We got Mavericks Wednesday, Hawks Saturday, Hornets Monday. We know how Julius loves to play against the Mavericks.
Yeah.
We know that Trae Young is looking for revenge. So it's some pretty good games coming up that hopefully the Knicks can string together. As you know, I was knocked out, so I saw none of this game. How much of this game did you catch?
Oh, I watched all of them.
Okay, so was it one of those nerve-wracking games, or was it like, okay, Knicks came in, handled business?
It was only close in the first half. We went into the half, like up 3 or some shit. Yeah, the whole second half was us. So RJ just, I don't know, something, and it was a different person. It was like a completely different person. Click, and it was like that he had an open dunk, like a fast break dunk where he did a windmill.
Mm-hmm.
After that windmill, it was a different RJ Barrett the rest of the game. I was like, okay.
Okay. This must have been the RJ from that Celtics game. Because that confidence, because I tell you right now, that play was not designed for RJ Barrett. That game-winning shot was not supposed to go to RJ Barrett, but RJ pulled the mellow and said, you didn't give me that shit. I'm shooting. I'll never forget the Phoenix game where the play was for Melo and JR took it. And I was just like, what the fuck? like, why did you do that? But okay, all right. You want to make it? Sure. But no, RJ, look, this is a big year for RJ because you look at guys like Cam Reddish, who's being talked about being traded. And it's like, well, look, some of these young guys, RJ, are either starting to look like they'll really be not much in the league, or they're finding new footing somewhere. But guys in his age bracket are either Ja Morant or Cam Reddish. So if you're RJ, you got to kind of figure which group do you want to place yourself in, where Ja Morant is ascending to, or where Cam Reddish is possibly, because it could just be it's not working in Atlanta, where he's decreasing to. So 31 tonight against the Spurs at home in a game that we believe the Knicks should win.
They should have one, yeah.
Yeah.
They did. That's good.
So that's always good. And look, I'm obviously I'm seeing the highlights now. I love anytime I see Quentin Grimes on the court. Anytime I see him on the court.
He had a good game. Everybody had a good game. Only one that doesn't have a good game was Julius. To be fair.
So he actually did play.
Oh yeah, he played 30-something minutes.
No fucking way. All right, Julius Randle had to have had a game-saving block, or like he punched someone in the face. Tell me he did something, Joel.
Just rebounded and passed the ball.
Okay.
That's,
okay. Look, I'm not mad at that. What do we always talk about, Joel? If you're going to not score the basketball, you just have to do something else productive.
Right.
So if he was dishing and, not swishing, but dishing and rebounding.
That's important. Rebound's important.
When it comes to Joel, that is all that matters.
Not all that matters, but it's very important. It's very important.
I'm just picturing like Coach Joel, look, I only had 2 points tonight. 2 fucking points. Whoa, coach. 15 rebounds. Oh, okay. I almost beat your ass. The 15 rebounds saved you tonight. Okay. All right.
It's actually true.
All right. I
won't be that mad at you. True story.
Joel's like, you need to show productivity somewhere else then. So it has to be somewhere. No, but seriously, that is obviously a very, very, very crucial stat. That it seems like not a lot of players are that proficient in. So when you do get someone that can rebound, you cherish that. You cherish that more than anything.
Cost you a game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like free throws. You gotta make your free throws. It's a free shot. Like, no one's defending you. Just make a shot right in front of you.
Simple as that. And again, when it comes to rebounding, it's just effort. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't look at someone and go, oh man, like he just doesn't have it. Bro, it's effort. Mm-hmm. Everyone has effort. I have effort. Like, it's not even a skill. Did you try? No, not really. I can tell. It's how the fuck did you not rebound that? Like, you're
go get it. Sometimes you just gotta go get it.
That's it.
No. Some people have that ability to like calculate where it's gonna go, but that's not everybody.
Right. I mean, shit. That year, Russell Westbrook got his first triple-double. I swear to God, it was like when someone would shoot it, the ball would go, "Hey, Russ." Like, the motherfucker would just find it, and it's like, how you were over there? How did you get here? Mm-hmm. But also, I do believe a lot of his teammates would just let him get those rebounds. There was no effort. There's no effort on their part. They're just like, yo, just get out of the way. Russ is gonna jump out of nowhere. All right, so I want to keep this in basketball. I wanted to ask you this. So I was thinking about, because obviously, me and you usually talk mid-season awards. Obviously, we're getting to the halfway point at some point. I was looking for who I thought should be coach of the year. And I have a dilemma here, okay? I want you to talk me through this. I have a dilemma here. So obviously you look at it and you go, well, Warriors are the best team in basketball, right? But if you look at the parity of the league will look at a Billy Donovan, right? And go, if the Bulls can hold Billy Donovan will win it. But I got a wrench I want to throw in there. JB Bickerstaff. Is it Bickerstaff? Bickerstaff. How can you not look at the Cavs going from literally the most atrocious fucking team to ever look at to a 5th, 6th seed? And again, if they can hold 4 or 5, it can't be any lower than 5. If they can hold 4 or 5, if you were giving out Coach of the Year awards, would you reward the guy who literally did what Tom Thibodeau did last year with the Knicks? Or would you go with Billy Donovan, who obviously never won it before, and literally also did take Chicago from worst to first? if Chicago holds in the top two.
I think it's an easy choice going with Donovan with Chicago because they're playing so well and they're playing small. But a lot of that is it's because Martin Rosen is playing on another level right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zach LaVine also is very good. You know what I mean? So they have two all-stars, easily all-stars. Mm-hmm. Can you say that about the Cavaliers?
But doesn't that make that more impressive that he's doing that? He's taking a team from what 16th or 18th to 4 or 5 with no all-stars. I mean, it depends on how you look at Kevin Love.
That's what I'm saying. I'm giving JB the credit.
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying it goes to Billy Donovan. I'm sorry. Okay.
No. I'm saying it's easy to choose Billy because they're number one in the East and they're winning they're going on winning streaks. But I'm saying they're better talent. Right. Obviously, you'll do better when you have better talent.
Right.
But the Cavaliers, they play a weird ball too. They play tall ball. They have like 3 7-footers on the court at the same time. They lost Sexton for the year. They lost Rubio now for the year. So it's like, gotta give them credit for staying above, above the water. So I agree. Yeah, JB Bickerstaff. I can't argue.
I mean, and the main reason why I said that, and I'm like, you kind of can't argue that because it's exactly what Tom did last year. Like the Knicks were no higher or lower than a 4th seed. It was just he transformed a team that everyone was just like, oh, they're going to be garbage, to making them right there in the thick of the right. So it's like you look at the Cavaliers and it's like I don't think anyone had the Cavaliers even in the playoffs this year, let alone a possible 4 or 5 seed. Again, we have to see how everything pans out. But I don't think that team is above making a trade for a veteran or someone like that can really put that team where it needs to be, depending on obviously who's available. So, again, I'm blown away by what they're doing. I actually watched the Cavaliers-Warriors game last night because the Chargers were trying their best to make me kill someone. So I was watching the Cavaliers, and I'm watching them. And first of all, bravo to them because they're probably one of the only teams that play basketball the way Joel prefers basketball to be played. Like, hey, you know that tall motherfucker you have on your bench? Use them. That'd be great. Use them. I need 6 point guards on the court. Can we maybe use that guy? The tall one?
Small ball. I don't mind small ball, but if done right. I don't need, like you said, 5 point guards on the floor at the same time.
Joel doesn't need Houston. I'll never forget that year D'Antoni did that, and Joel just went. And I took that personally.
I should have been DJ Tucker at center. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I hope they lose every game going forward. I was insulted. I'm like, who do you think you are?
Oh, okay. So be honest with me. If you went to the finals with that roster, with that running that lineup, how angry would you have been? We're not even saying won it. If you just went there.
Oh, bad.
And the only reason I ask that for our fans listening, the only reason I ask that is the NBA is a very reactionary sport. Meaning if the Rockets went to the finals running a small lineup, you best goddamn believe 4 to 5 more teams in the NBA would have said, well, wait a minute. We can do that. Like, we could put Ja Morant at the 5. Yeah, sure. It'll work. Yeah, let's try it. But no, so I mean, look, I look at the Cavs, they played an awesome game. I think a lot just went right for Golden State. Obviously, Clay came back dunking on motherfuckers. Like Draymond played the first 2 seconds of the game.
It is Golden State.
No, but I want to add, because I know when a lot of people hear that, like, oh, Clay came back, like, of course the Warriors won. The Cavaliers were in that game. That wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, a game where it was like 115 to 62. Like, the Cavs were in that game. And I like that Mobley kid, man. You were right.
Mobley's good.
You were right. That kid is really good. When he can put it all together, that team is going to be really terrifying. Really, really, really terrifying. I know this is going to sound stupid, but if I were them, I would really try to see how valuable the league finds Kevin Love.
I think they are. I think they're looking, but
Yeah, because I'm like, I could get just something back for that, whether it's draft consideration that I could utilize, or just like I said, another veteran player that just fits them better. Because I was watching Markkinen, and every time I see Markkinen, I'm like, he's playing well. How the fuck do you have Kevin Love? like he's just younger and taller. I don't understand. There's not much Love does tremendously better than Markkinen. So I'm like, I don't really see the need to have both.
at the moment he's really helpful off the bench because that's what they use him as, more like a 6-man right now.
Right.
Especially with Rubio not being there, and they just got Rondo. They just traded for Rondo, so that helps. But like I said, they play small ball. Marketing plays small forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Weirdest thing I've ever. I'm looking at it. I'm just like, I think that defies logic, but okay, all right. Okay. But all right. Was there anything else? Because I don't. Oh, I did want to say this because you were saying how the Bulls are doing what they're doing with obviously DeMar DeRozan playing at an insane level. You know, Vegas doesn't have DeMar DeRozan in top 5 for MVP voting.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't know how.
I don't think, because you know what it is? I think if you're Vegas, you're thinking to yourself, what's the likelihood he keeps this up? I think that's what they're thinking. Because again, the way DeMar DeRozan is playing now, he's only ever played like at least 2 to 3 notches below this is almost his entire Toronto career, right? And then he obviously had the dip in San Antonio, but he's never been this good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you can look at the East, the years the Raptors were good and go, well, the East wasn't good. So this is his first year I've ever seen him where the East is good and he's just as good. But I just thought that was interesting that no one's really talking DeMar DeRozan for MVP yet. We believe the only reason they're winning is because DeMar DeRozan. And they're the number 1 seed. I don't understand. But we got the same thing. Right. We got the same thing last year. Again, they weren't the number 1 seed, so I understand. But last year, we thought Julius Randle should at least be mentioned. And that never felt like that was something realistic. Voting-wise, any of the voters were ever going to take that serious. Actually, I think they took Julius Randle for MVP way more serious than Melo that year. He should have won it. So the voting for MVP is very fucking weird. But all right,
Julius did get MIP, so at least he won something.
Oh man, I cried that year. LeBron won it. Like Melo, I'm sorry. Me and that one Boston reporter believed in you. I don't know what else to say. Did you want to talk anything else Knicks before we moved on?
Not necessarily. I think
we're a month away from the trade deadline, so we don't even have to theorize about trades. We got time for things to just, I guess, heat up a little bit more.
We'll see how that plays out, but as of right now, there's murmurs, but I don't know. We gotta see.
Right. I'm still of the belief that again, the solution for the Knicks is more than likely on that roster. Because we agreed this team's not bad. They just can't put the shit together.
And that's why I feel like it's the opposite. Every time I watch them, like they're going, it's every day. No matter who you put, it's always the same issue. So for me, it doesn't feel like it's on the roster because it's always the same bullshit with the same roster. Like,
whatever. See, that's not a wrong feeling to have, but I do look at this team and at least go, when they're on, they're on. They're on. It's just for some.
How often is that? Are they on?
I know, but I'm saying, is that a lineup problem? Is that like we need to get rid of? Like that's what I'm saying. That it's to me, it's not as straightforward as just like, fuck. Like we need to move someone out and move someone else in. I'm more convinced maybe it's you just have to shake up the actual lineup more.
How many lineups have we've had shakeups all year? Every starting lineup looks like shit.
But taking
the best lineup, honestly, was against Boston the other day where quickly was in it. We started the game well, and then we collapsed in the second half, especially the third quarter where we completely collapsed. But there you go.
You can attribute that to not having the one positive thing the Knicks have had the last 2 years, which is your bench. You took Quickly off the bench and put him in the starting lineup with Alec Burks. So your two best things that you could have coming off the bench weren't there, and obviously you don't have Rose. So I think if you at least had Rose, it wouldn't have collapsed as largely as it did. But like I said, the way you feel is very valid. I just kind of feel like I've seen at certain points where it's like, all right, things are working. I just don't know why it just all of a sudden just collapses. Like I can't put a finger on what that is. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. What'd you say?
I said they're not consistent.
Right, but I'm very curious. Like, at least, like, let's say Brooklyn wasn't playing well, right? Let's say Brooklyn was playing extremely well, and then Kyrie comes in, and then they're not. You could easily just look at Kyrie and go, well, clearly you're the problem. When I look at the Knicks, I don't know directly what to point it at. That's what I'm saying. That's what's so confusing. So it's like,
yeah. Right now it's point guards. There's no point guard, no good point guard play.
Okay.
There's no direction. So sometimes they get lost and the offense fails for it. I don't think Burke should be starting at point guard.
I agree.
But we don't really have many options right now. Kemba's hurt. Kemba should be back soon. Because obviously the offense runs better with him in the lineup. Defense falls a little bit. They could figure it out from there, but we miss Rose a lot. But I don't know. We'll see. Yep. Depending on what the move is, what players are out there. I'm not trying to give up the farm and shit.
Yeah, no, that's not the answer. I know getting Rose back won't be until way after the trade deadline, but I would have liked to have seen what this roster looks like with Rose healthy, Kemba healthy, and Burks can go back to where he belongs, Quickly can go back to where he belongs, and you have Rose to anchor that bench too. Because if that team can put together 4 to 5 straight wins, I then go, well, then, yeah, that was the issue. Problem solved. But obviously, we won't be able to fully see that until way after the trade deadline. So, and fucking Nerlens, like, did you sign your contract and then just go, all right, knees, whatever you guys want to do now? Like, I understand you were so durable last year.
It really was. It was like 1 year off. I'm super healthy. Right. I played like 2 games this year. What the fuck, man?
Oh, I did want to ask you one more Nick thing before we moved on. I think we talked about it before, but just in case we didn't, was RJ's shot one of your more memorable Knicks moments ever?
Ever?
Yeah. Again, I don't need you to grade it because I'm not putting you on the spot of thinking of all the Knick moments ever.
That's the problem. I won't know until later.
Okay.
Like if it comes back to me like in a year or two, I'm like, man, remember that? I watched that shot. Like the David Lee tip-in. I'll never forget that day. Ever, because that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And that's because those moments are so fucking rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. That it was crazy because I think he got fouled in that play, honestly.
I 100% agree. And I'm very curious if that didn't go in, would they have called it?
Doubt it. That would have sucked.
But I will say the only thing that took a lot of the luster away is not and again, the NBA has to figure that out. You have to stop forcing me to watch these games on ABC or TNT. Put it on MSG. I don't understand. Put it on MSG. I shouldn't have to listen to people I've literally never heard of in my life call these basketball games when I'd much rather hear bang from Mike. Yeah. That would have been one of the greatest bangs of all time, hearing Mike do that in the Garden.
Yeah, I don't get it either. He works for them too. It's not like you can't just bring him in for a Knick game.
That's what I'm saying. And here's the main point, because I know what the response is going to be. I'm only asking that they make these games available on MSG for locals. I get worldwide.
Sometimes
you don't
they
have
do.
MSG,
Sometimes they do.
That's only when it's on NBA TV. That will never happen on TNT or ABC. That will never happen. Only when it's NBA TV, they give you the option of both.
But NBA TV won't though. Like if you got NBA TV
Oh yes,
locally,
it'll black out MSG for
you
me.
won't be able to watch on. You can't watch on MBTV. Fuck for Knicks or Nets.
Hate that. Well, Nets is fine, but I hate that so much. But no, I put this RJ moment up there very high, but like you'll never forget the David Lee tip-in. I'll just never forget that Chicago Bulls Knicks game where Melo just went.
That was a great one too. That was fucking awesome.
And hearing those bangs by Mike just made it so much sweeter. So much sweeter. I was watching someone put together a compilation of Mike Breen's best like bang calls, and that Melo one was like top 3 because it was just such a whirlwind of a game to where you're like, oh, the Knicks are gonna lose this, and Melo's just like, fuck no, we're not. It's like, all right, Melo, okay. That 3 in Luol Deng's mouth. That was all in his mouth. Then the other one in Taj Gibson's mouth. I'll just never forget that game. I'll never forget that game. That David Lee tip-in is really high though. That was
against the Bobcats. Charlotte Bobcats.
Jeez. We're gonna come up in in the next 10 years where people just forget that was a team.
Yeah. It's gonna happen.
It's like, no, Bobcats. There were no Bobcats. Like my grandfather said to me the other day that I think he said Golden State used to be the Washington Warriors.
Bullets. They were the Bullets.
There was a Warriors team.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Warriors.
Philadelphia Warriors. There we go.
That's not Golden State. Oh, San Francisco.
You're right. I'm sorry. I correlated that because of the name Warriors. But when he told me that, I still to this day think he's lying.
It's weird.
I looked it up and saw it.
No, that's true. Yeah. The Warriors were from Philadelphia. That's where Wilt Chamberlain played.
Really?
Philadelphia, yeah. And then they moved to San Francisco. And then moved to Oakland. They became Golden State.
Oh, so it was the Warriors I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's all Warriors.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of weird ones. So, like the Lakers were from Minneapolis. The Kings used to be in Kansas City. That's better. I like them in Kansas City. Make more Kansas City. Where the fuck's Sacramento? I'm tired of that city.
Damn.
LA. The Clippers were in San Diego.
I can understand a bit.
Syracuse Nationals. There was a team called Syracuse National. I believe that became the Sixers or the Warriors. I believe.
Thank God for evolution.
The Buffalo Braves. The Buffalo Braves became the Clippers.
No wonder they sucked for so long.
That's where Bob McAdoo played first. That's where he got drafted.
What progression. God damn, that sounds horrible.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's move. Excuse me. Let's move on. Let's move into football. So clearly today, Joel, you lost the GM. I know you're happy about that, but you retained a quarterback and head coach.
Well, I look at it like this. For everything I'm hearing, the GM will have a say on the coach. So he's currently the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Right.
If the GM wants to keep him, we'll keep him. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Right.
That's how it should be, honestly.
I agree with you. That's what me, Joe, and Mike were talking about today. They were saying that, fire Joe Judge because their fear is if you bring in someone who likes Joe Judge, they're going to keep Joe Judge.
Right, yeah.
Right. And I'm like, well, again, that's only bad if you're losing. If this GM strings together a team that is good, then it doesn't fucking matter,
Right.
So again, like I said, I'm not a Giants fan. So if you guys want Joe Judge out, I'm not here to argue for him to stay. I'm just saying you can't say this team has not been properly constructed and then go, well, he's a horrible fucking coach. I don't know many Hall of Fame coaches that could have turned that team around with that same exact talent. I don't know many. I
was 100% fine with keeping Joe Judge for a long time. Till a couple games ago.
That's what they said. That's what Joe said. Joe said it was these last couple of games. I just said no, absolutely.
I've never seen this offense look this bad in my life. And he can't escape. He can't escape from that. There's no way. It's bad. It was so bad. And like I know the talent's really the line because they have receivers, they have talent there. It's not like they're not on there. The line has been hurt and they've been bad. Period. The best lineman has been Andrew Thomas. Thank God, because at least that pick was worth something, right? But you can't just throw they had a touchdown. I was so excited. They got one touchdown against Washington. I was like, yeah, they scored they threw it too. It was a throw.
I will say this. You ready for a stat that'll really upset you?
Sure.
Who's your biggest paid wide receiver?
Galladay. No TDs.
None. Not a single fucking touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be the most frustrating thing if you're Kenny Galladay.
Well, of course. Imagine having Kenny Galladay and he has no touchdowns. So yeah, the offense has been shit.
Yeah.
Shit. And you can't blame who was the OC. Don't matter. They fired him.
That's what I said. So I'm like, you might as well have held on to him just to the end of the year and just let everybody go.
That would have probably made you look better if you kept him.
100%, because you got rid of him and they were just like, well, was he calling plays to begin with?
We don't know. We don't know.
Worse. You got worse. You had a negative offensive game. You got worse somehow. I don't understand. Exactly. First thing I told Joe and Mike though is New England will do you a huge favor. I will gladly take Nate Solder for you, 1,000%. Gladly.
You'll take who?
Nate Solder. Nate Solder.
Oh, Nate Solder?
Give me Nate.
Yeah, you can fucking have Nate Solder.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, look, he'll be available. Trust me.
Because guess how much you're paying him next year?
I don't know.
$4 million.
I don't care. I don't want him there.
No. That's my point. He's now super easy to move, or just release him and pay off the $4 million. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's very doable for you guys. But I look at what New England did with Trent Brown from the Raiders. He looked like he was done. Came here. He's playing amazing. I think we can do the same for Nate Solder. I will gladly take that almost 7-foot giant. I will take that.
Revolving door of a man.
No arguments here, but I think Bill can fix them. So then they asked me, do I think any of the head coaches that were released today would be good for the Giants? And honestly, sure.
Yeah, I would say so.
Sure. I mean, I think the biggest thing you have to wait for if you're the Giants is Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh loses week 1, which we can make a very strong argument they will. If you're Mike Tomlin, do you stay for a almost full fucking rebuild for that team? Do you bounce? Do you maybe see what else is going on?
The Giants is going to be kind of a rebuild too.
No, it would, but at least there, you have a new GM. I don't know how much say he has in Pittsburgh. I know the Giants will say, do whatever the fuck you want. I would hope you would look a Super Bowl quarterback in the eye and say, yeah, whatever you need to bring us another Super Bowl.
It would be nice to have a coach with experience this go around.
Right. I mean, you kind of look like you're letting Joe Judge do whatever he wants, and he has no Super Bowls under his belt.
He had no coaching experience, just special teams.
Special teams and wide receivers coach.
And before that, we had Shermer, who coached only one time before that for a season.
Mm-hmm. And it was not a good season.
And then we had, what's his name? Can't remember.
Tom Coughlin?
No, before him. I mean, after him. Oh, man.
Bob Mack? No, not Bob Mack.
McAdoo. It is McAdoo.
It was McAdoo. Okay.
It's not Bob McAdoo, but it is McAdoo. And he was he actually had some success before it fell apart. But he did bench Eli. And that was a really bad idea.
Yeah, just to show Eli like he had the biggest dick in the
room. Yeah, for no reason, because terrible decision. But again, there was a lot of different issues.
I just looked up Bob McAdoo, and it's definitely not Bob McAdoo.
Well, I told you who Bob McAdoo is. Former Nick Bob McAdoo.
Ben McAdoo. Okay.
Yeah.
Ben McAdoo. Okay. Yeah. All right, I knew I wasn't far away. I'm like, yeah, it was him. Oh wow, he's actually now a consultant for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he's been there.
Traitor ass, bitch ass.
all the time. You know, they do usually like to stay within the division, which is weird, but it is what it is.
They are sluts for jobs out in divisions.
Yeah, I just want a GM, a good one. You know, it's nice to not have Gettleman anymore. It's just
it's also nice that I don't have to hear Giant fans lean on that anymore. Like, all right, well now it has to be something new. He's gone, so that can't. That's why I'm like, part of me does want Joe Judge to go. Part of me does want Daniel to go. So then it's just like, well, you'll do the New York thing and find something else to complain about, but at least it won't be something I've just heard consistently for the last few years. At least that I can say. We're on to new pastures, so we'll see with Giant fans. All right. So I got an argument today with the guys about this. We were talking MVP. They were saying how it's definitely Tom Brady. And I'm like, I'm sorry, did Aaron Rodgers did he retire? No. I'm like, well, Aaron Rodgers has 37 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Brady has 40-something touchdowns with 15 interceptions. Well, if we took the interceptions out, why would we take the interceptions out? We're moving the goalposts now. And then, Joel, they had the nerve to say this. I want to ask you this. My grandfather couldn't comprehend when I was saying it, so I want to say it to you. You're an NFL coach, right?
Am I?
What would you prefer? A quarterback who, quote unquote, dinks and dunks, but gets you 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and the number 1 seed in the entire NFL, or the number 1 record, I'm sorry, in the entire NFL, number 1 seed in your conference? Or would you like a quarterback who gives you 40-something touchdowns, 5,000 yards, 15 interceptions, but your record is 10-7, and you're a 4th seed? Who would you prefer if you're a head coach?
You can't ask me these things. I'll take any quarterback. That's not what we have right now.
No, I just mean because they were saying how they would much rather have a quarterback.
Take Gardner Minshew right now over anybody.
They were saying they'd much rather have a quarterback who throws 15 interceptions but has 40 touchdowns, but is launching the ball, rather than a quarterback, because they're saying Aaron Rodgers just dink and dunks.
Okay.
And that's why he has so little interceptions. And I'm like, well, that's smart play calling.
He's moving the ball. It's not like he's not going anywhere.
My point exactly. But I'm like, that's smart decision making. Why would I want a quarterback who is high risk, high reward? I mean, high risk. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be available this summer. I'm like, who's not going to want that motherfucker? Honestly.
I'm like, wait a minute. You're telling me that if Aaron Rodgers was on the Giants, only threw 37 touchdowns, which is a lot, by the way. We're saying only threw 37 touchdowns, 4,000 yards, 4 interceptions, and led the Giants to a 10-4. And the 10-4 is very generous.
Yes, it is.
1 game against the Chiefs that you lost, Aaron Rodgers didn't play. And the other game that they lost against the Lions, Rodgers came out at halftime. So you look at those 2 and you go, all right, well, we count them, but you can really take those 2 losses away. Because Rodgers either didn't play the game or play the full game. So I'm like, a Giants fan would take that every day of the week.
Of course.
But they're complaining about it as if Tom Brady deserves more credit because he's throwing it more and has more interceptions, but has more yards and touchdowns. I'm like, Tom Brady is not the MVP. He's just not. It's Aaron Rodgers' award. If they don't want to give it to him because of COVID, then that's stupidity. But if we're talking about just production, Aaron Rodgers is easily the MVP this year.
I can't argue with that. I mean, I wouldn't say Tom Brady's not up for it, but
no, of course he's up for it. Again, if they decide to be literally the worst kinds of media and punish Aaron Rodgers because of COVID, and Tom Brady wins it, I told him, I said, that's fine. Just know that Tom Brady, you know how Skip Bayless always calls LeBron's championship with the Lakers in the bubble like a fake championship? If Brady wins it because they didn't want to give it to Aaron because of COVID, that is a fake MVP win. That's not real. You didn't.
That's not a good reason either.
Not a good reason whatsoever.
You don't have to agree with it. I don't know. I don't agree with him at all. But
I don't agree with it at all either. But we're talking about what you do on the football field.
Right, when he's actually playing, when he actually plays. I don't give a fuck what he thinks about vaccines.
Me neither. I don't care about anyone's idea. That's why my brother cracked me up when he kept saying when it came out that Brady had Trump's hat in his locker, and he's just like, "Are you still a fan?" I'm like, "Does he still throw the football for New England?" Yeah. Well, then yes. I don't know the man outside of football, so none of that matters to me. If he's throwing a football for me, I am his fan. Right. Simple as that.
He's for the most part very quiet, so I don't really care.
That's what he didn't have the hat on while he was interviewing. Now, again, did he know that? Yeah, the cameras would see the hat in his locker for sure. It wasn't like he was wearing it, talking to me about politics. So I don't give a fuck. But yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers' award to lose. I was also saying Jamar Chase is easily the rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. Mac Jones, with these last 5 weeks he's put together, lost it. Drastically lost it. Micah Parsons, clearly defensive rookie of the year. That's not even a conversation to be had. Defensive player of the year should obviously go to TJ Watt. Shouldn't go to anyone else. 22 and a half sacks, almost breaking Michael Strahan's record.
I was upset. I was like, fuck, you made it 22.
Because now it'll be interesting to see if when someone comes close again, will they say, oh, man, blah, blah, blah is close to TJ and Michael Strahan's record, or will they just cop out and go, oh, man, this guy's really close to TJ Watt's record? It's not just TJ's record; it's TJ and Michael's record. I was looking for him to break it. I'm a history guy, so I'm like, I would love anyone who breaks any record.
I am too, just not my records. Don't break my records.
Oh man, I watched a couple Steelers games this year, and I watched a few of his teammates. That's why I asked you last week. How funny was it seeing Kimba try to get the triple-double and the Knicks just couldn't get out of his way? Because TJ's had a few of those games where you're watching and you're just like, TJ's about to get a few sacks today. And his teammates are just like, nope, my sack. And it's like, bitch, come on, man. It's history here. Let me get the sack. What are you doing? So I thought that was very interesting, especially that he finished with 22 and a half. That means someone fucked him over in one of these games where he had it, but then they came and was like, we're going to share it, right? Bitch, why? Why not let me just have it? That was a whole one you robbed from me. So I'm sure whoever got that half sack with him, he's fucking them up in the locker room right now. As he should. Coach of the year, I go the Bengals head coach. The Bengals are relevant again, and they're relevant in a way they never were with Carson Palmer.
Yeah, they were here. The difference is they're exciting now. Where they were before, they were.
That was very no. Go ahead.
They were relevant. That's what I'm trying to. They had moments. They had really good years, but for the most part, especially the last couple, the end part of that, they were just above. Well, they were just doggy paddling most of the time. They were just adequate. At best.
I mean, look, Carson Palmer was always known as one and done. He'll get you to the playoffs, but he will never win you a playoff game. But I will always say, whenever someone talks favorite, not best, but favorite quarterback wide receiver duos, I always put Carson Palmer and Ocho Cinco up there. They were so much fucking fun to watch.
That was fun, yes.
But
this is the new version of that.
This is a bet. I'm not saying Jamar Chase is better than Ocho Cinco yet, but Joe Burrow is 1,000% better than Carson Palmer. I don't even need to see more to know that. But now it's all about, is that Bengals curse real? Can you go win a playoff game? It won't be easy. So it'll be interesting to see how far the Bengals can go. But their head coach 1,000% deserves coach of the year. 100%. I know a lot of people want to give it to the Packers head coach. I won't argue it, but look, the Bengals were a team we were looking at like, bro.
It's still LaFleur?
Yeah, it's LaFleur. Matt LaFleur. Yeah. So that's who I think should get it, is the Bengals head coach. I think he should get coach of the year. Comeback player of the year we were arguing about. I think it's obviously Dak Prescott. As much as I would love to give it to Joe Burrow, it's clearly Dak Prescott. I bet. Like, what are we talking about here? They had the better record.
Yeah, I mean they're playing well. I mean I hate them, but they're playing well.
I'm with you. I don't like Dallas any more than you do. But to not account for Dak Prescott at all just because of how awesome Joe Burrow has looked, no. To me, if I'm Joe Burrow, I don't care about that award. I'm looking for MVPs and Super Bowl championships. I don't need comeback player of the year. And then they were saying they were confused because he didn't play a whole season last year. So how is he a comeback player? He played 10 games. That's enough for you to be a comeback player. You got injured. You had to sit the last 6 to 7 games. You came back this year, played a full season. Comeback player of the year. I don't understand.
Right. Daniel Jones comes out next year and has a very good year, comeback player of the year, because he was hurt the last couple games.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. All right. So we can move out of football. I don't think there's any more awards unless I'm forgetting one. I don't think so. Oh, I think Joe said, I never heard of this award. Maybe I have, but he said there's an offensive player of the year. I didn't know there was an offensive player of the year. I thought it was offensive rookie of the year. But I guess if there's a defensive player, offensive player of the year makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah.
So I said it's clearly Jonathan Taylor. Because I will never give a running back or a wide receiver an MVP. I give Jonathan Taylor the offensive player of the year for sure. You know, obviously he wasn't good enough to run his team into the playoffs, but you know,
that team has other issues.
Colts have a Carson Wentz problem, so you know, good for you. All right.
Feel bad for that guy.
I so don't feel bad for that. I hate that city. That's the same city who booed Andrew Luck. Think about that. They booed Andrew Luck. So they deserve, and I felt bad because listener Jim is a huge Colts fan. But I told him, I said, I'm sorry, listener Jim, it has nothing to do with you, but your fan base is horrible. They are the worst. I hope that you never get a comparable quarterback to win you a championship. I hope you get like a fucking Trent Dilfer.
Two back to back. You know how hard that is? Back to back.
And then you follow that up with Phillip Rivers and then Carson Wentz. And most franchises get one quarterback over the course of 20 years that you look at and go, well, at least we did have blah, blah, blah.
Right.
We had 4. And 3 of them are Hall of Famers. Andrew Luck, again, if he didn't retire and just finished out like maybe a few more years, no doubt is a Hall of Famer. No doubt is a Hall of Famer.
He should come back.
3 fucking Hall of Famers. Bro, he is so disappeared from life. I don't think he ever wants to come back into the...
He was just doing commentary.
For who? I want to know what he looks like.
He was on the sideline with Robert Griffin III.
2 guys that were just like, yeah, I'm not going to play out this tenure here. Sorry. I know you drafted me, but I'm not going to be able to do it.
So sad.
That's very sad, man. I get very sad thinking about how all-time great I thought those 2 were going to be. I thought that was going to be the best 1-2 punch in NFL draft history as far as quarterbacks. I don't think I've ever seen a draft where 2 quarterbacks literally go 1 and 2, and they almost live up to it. But all right, let's move out of football. I don't think we got anything else football to talk about. Guys, this episode is brought to you by Blue Chew. With cuffing season right around the corner, you're going to want to satisfy your lady. And now you can with Blue Chew, which is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is very simple. You sign up at bluechew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. So no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and are prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. With Blue Chew, men everywhere are excited to see the postman because when your package has arrived, your package has arrived. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code GVN at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. $5 for shipping. That's it. That's bluechew.com, promo code GVN to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details on important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring our podcast. Let's get into our Batman talk, Joel. I don't want to wait any longer. Let's get into our Batman talk.
Right into it.
Let's get right into it. We got some set photos, guys, from the movie Batgirl that's currently filming right now. I saved all the screenshots, so I made sure not to misspeak on anything. It looks like they're building a mural for Batman. Not a mural like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said mural because it makes it sound like he died. But they're building like a shrine, like a shrine for Batman.
It looks like someone... they tagged a wall.
Right.
With Batman.
Right. But I think if you say mural, people are like, oh, he died. No.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But let me just say this. And I never thought I would say, again, it makes me very upset you're wasting it on geriatric Batman, but that might be one of the greatest suits I've ever fucking seen in live action. And again, that's only a drawing, but it is one of the most beautiful suits I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't care for it, but I'm very much a fan of the chin strap. Like the, you know what I'm talking about. It's not an actual chin strap, but it's just a liner going down to his chin instead of just being empty there. I like that line connecting there. I think it's such a good look. And I think Injustice is the reason I like that look. He had that look in Injustice. He doesn't usually have that anywhere else. But we also got, which I thought was very genius of these Batgirl directors, in that same photo is indeed Robin, but they made sure to kind of take out his face as much as possible. So it's not a conversation of, oh, he looks just like this actor or this person. Because it's a really good chance we see him older show up at some point in this movie. Right. Because I know a lot of people are saying, oh, we might see Robin in this movie. And I'm like, well, that's supposed to be a younger Batman, not Michael Keaton's old ass. So if Batman's younger then, that means Robin had to have aged with Batman. Like, Robins don't stay young. So I think if they're saying this is Dick Grayson, he has to be older now. That wouldn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. But I also told you my theory is that I think they're going Nightwing here and allowing Matt Reeves to do an actual young Robin whenever he wants to implement that. Because it's too much for you to tell me there's a Nightwing and another Nightwing. It's like I'm just getting past the logic of two Batman. Now you want two Nightwings? That's just too much for me. Too much. Because you can only change Nightwing, but so much, right? And we technically have one on Titans that you made a little weird. And then you're giving me two more? No, thank you. But Joel, walk me through your thoughts seeing this, and then your thoughts on what you think they might do with Robin.
It was funny when you sent it. I saw the picture, and all I noticed was Batman at first. I was like, oh, cool. It's a pig. Someone painted a picture. They're putting, I guess, just like you said, it was a mural. Cool. And the other two I saw already. So I was like, all right. And then I went back through it again. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's fucking Robin. Because the other two pictures don't have Robin in it. It's just Batman. And so the big one has it. I'm like, oh, fuck. There's no one noticed because it's a glare. So you can't really see it super well. And it looks worn out anyway. Like it's old. Mm-hmm. But so I'm like, that's cool. And they obviously have pointed out that they're literally taken from specific artworks. Like the Robin is specifically taken from a comic book, and Batman was a toy. And they put it on the thing. So like this is not, and plus, like I said, it might be an older picture, so it's probably an older Batman. I mean, younger versions of Batman and Robin. Right. So we don't know what they look like now. He for all we know, he could still be Robin. Look, Dick and fucking Titans was Robin until last minute, right? Especially if he's gonna get a Nightwing movie, it could be his transition to Nightwing. But he also could be Nightwing. You know, he could be not living in Gotham at the time. He could be living in wherever, um, Bloodhaven, and
Yeah.
Bruce is alone with his dog. I'll be his dog. Like,
I honestly wasn't that big of a fan when Titans did that. I didn't hate it because it's hard to get me to hate anything in Batman's mythos. But I just, to me, it's always weird because it was like when Dick left, he left to leave everything behind and then to become Nightwing. It wasn't like, all right, I'm gonna leave, still be Robin. Like, no, he wanted to become his own man, and you can't if you're Robin because it's always
no.
Batman and Robin. They always clump it. They always.
What I'm saying is, if he's gone, he's not Robin anymore. Well, that's what I'm saying. If
Oh,
he's
okay.
still there with Bruce as Dick, he might still be Robin. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, no, if he's still there, then I'm with you. Then yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying to leave and still be Robin is something I'm never a fan of. That's just weird.
That was the point of leaving.
Right. That's why when Titans did it, I'm like, he's not with Bruce, but he's still Robin. That's so weird.
That's Robin.
Because I'm like, all right, you made him a cop, but he's still Robin. I'm like, no, that should have been either or. It should have been he left from being Robin to be a cop, so he's his own man, and in becoming his own man, he becomes Nightwing. Again, I get it. You had to put him in a suit. I understand. No problem.
Yeah, it was a beautiful suit.
It was. I'm just saying I don't need it for my movie version. The movie version can be way more fleshed out. It can be he left, became Nightwing in Bloodhaven. No problem. Or if he stayed, he's still Robin, and I'm fine with that. But I want to talk a little bit more about the detail of this Batman suit, bro. The belt looks like how I always wanted his belt to look like. They really exacerbated that Batman logo on the chest. That shit looks just, oh, I fucking love it. And again, they did the one thing, Joe, I've been asking for them to do with Batman, and hopefully we get to see this suit utilized in flashbacks. You notice those eyes? Those are white eyes. I've only been asking for white eyes for forever.
Robin too.
Yes, he does. To me, I think that's very important to the characters. It's why when I cried the first time I started watching Umbrella Academy, and they were showing flashbacks where they had the mask on and it was white. I was just like, oh, see, it could be done. It could be done and look so good. So when I first saw this, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna cry if we actually get this. And his cape looks long enough that it could connect.
If it's a Keaton cape, it always does. Keaton's cape, they always do. They just connected the chest up. So you always see the logo. You can't cover the logo.
Right.
That's a marketing thing. But
I get it.
Keaton Batman was always able to cover completely, and he's done it in the comics. I mean, in the movies.
Right. I just can't wait to see it again. That's why I said I can't have a retired Batman in this movie. I can't. I need to see him in that suit.
I don't think he's gonna retire. I think he's just not going to take full time. That's all.
And I told you I can live with that. But as long as I see him in the suit, that's all I care about.
I don't think you bring him back and not show him off, is what I'm saying.
Brother, I'm lock in step with you. I just know if anyone could do it, it would be Warner. But I am lock in step with you. Obviously, we got more shots of filming, and it looks like there is a poster that looks eerily similar to Hugo Strange. I thought that was awesome. Again, that's a villain I love. I always thought it was weird when they did the Joker movie not to utilize Hugo Strange in that. It's his therapist. I was just like, that's a perfect chance to utilize that. Having someone that feeds into his crazy, that would have been awesome. But I just want Hugo Strange. I don't give a fuck where you use him. So this is perfect for me. And then it's a two-parter as I pass it to you, Joel. Apparently Jacob Scipio,
yeah.
Scipio, okay. Is rumored to be suiting up as Killer Moth.
The rumor, I mean, that's the first time I heard it was on that rumor. I mean, in that picture. But I mean, if that's the case, and they're really adapting like Batgirl Year One because they're both in it, like Firefly and Killer Moth.
Let me ask you this, because I want you to give me your thoughts on the Hugo Strange poster and then this rumor. But do you think that's a little bit redundant to have both in her? Like, I know they did it in the comics. I get it. But in a movie, don't you think it should just be as simplistic as here's one villain, here's one hero, that's it? Do you think adding in Killer Moth kind of complicates it a little bit?
It depends how they do it. It all depends on how it's used. Is he actually gonna be killing Moth the whole movie? Does she know that? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. Like, we don't know how it's executed yet. If he is, and then they're Firefly and Killer Moth in the movie, like working together or whatever. I mean, the comic did it; they could do it. It's just a matter of implementation. You know.
Okay. And what do you think about the Hugo? I was going to say Hugo Weaving, not Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving as Hugo Strange is good casting.
That would be, but the likelihood of him signing on to something else superhero
doubt it.
Him to none.
But no, I didn't really pay much attention to it because like it's just a picture. If he's in it, cool. But like, I don't care as much because like now we just literally got possibly have two villains in this movie. So I doubt if he is in it, he's gonna have a big role. So.
Oh no, of course. I just like that you're opening the door for the character. This is a character that I had wanted to be one of Ben's adversaries in one of those movies. So I'm like, all right, I don't need him here. I just like that you're opening the door to use him. That's it. I don't need him here. I don't need multiple villains. I just argued to you that I don't even need two, let alone three. So yes, I'm completely fine with that. And we see a few more set photos of Batgirl, not in costume, just rocking a GCPD shirt. That's it. No action sequences, nothing else. Just her being,
being her
photographed.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait. I know they're filming shit outside soon, so be prepared.
Yeah. They also like to film the suit stuff rather early, because they film stuff out of order. They don't film a movie exactly how we watch it. So they like to take the days where they can get the best lighting and whatever, where they can control the ambiance and do a lot of the suit work then. But we haven't seen Bruce. We haven't seen Gordon. We actually haven't really seen Firefly. We've only seen Brendan for the happy birthday thing that we saw. That was it. So they're doing a good job of hiding a lot. But this dropping was really awesome. This was good PR for Warner Brothers.
Well, it's funny how a lot of people's minds changed as soon as they saw that picture. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm down.
Yeah, I was numero uno, especially when that Robin photo I sent you with Robin, Batgirl, and Bruce. When I saw that, I was just like, all right, this is what me and Joel were talking about. We were saying you could make this work if you do this. This is all you gotta do. All you gotta do.
That's doable. Look, and no one likes the idea of them being replaced. No one. It's a trigger. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But they obviously have some type of plan because we were thinking about it. Like, they could do this, they could do that, they could do this, and it'll definitely, it won't hurt as bad if you do it a certain way.
It'll
right?
Soften the blow.
Right.
It'll soften the blow. I mean, look, what was the first thing I said to you when we were talking about this, bro? If you give me Robin or Nightwing, my mind's not even thinking about the future of Superman or anything. I give you the leeway of the weight, right? Because I'm like, well, if you're doing this right, I have faith you'll handle that situation properly. But it's all about executing this. If you can execute this, no problem. I won't complain about Green Lantern, Superman, none of that. I'll give you the good faith because you did something right. That's all I'm saying. I'm willing to work with you, Warner, if you're willing to work with us. I'll give you that good faith, but you can't abuse it. You cannot abuse it. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out.
100%. Like I told you, I'm still waiting to see what their plans are for Superman in this world. So, and I already explained how it would soften the blow. So if they do something like that, I'll be more open. I can't imagine others won't be either. So we'll see.
All right. And our good friend, My Time to Shine, hello, was reiterating to people that Ben Affleck is not in Batgirl.
What?
Because apparently there's fake rumors going around.
Of course, sir.
Just for people to know, it's not happening. And according to My Time to Shine, hello, you're getting a Man of Steel, but with a female lead and no Cavill. Sequel, they meant. Flash movie will bring back Zod to the DCEU. He is alive. And apparently the rumor is that Supergirl will have a similar chance to kill Zod, but instead will find another way of taking down Zod so he doesn't die.
I've heard that, but I heard that as a joke.
Oh, okay. It very well could be.
I heard people making fun. I'm like, oh, they're just gonna switch it up so she doesn't kill him.
But I will say this: if they are bringing back Zod, I wholeheartedly believe that, because I'm like, well, part of the reason people weren't willing to accept Henry Cavill's Superman is because he did kill Zod. Again, he killed Zod in the original movie too. It wasn't as vicious, but
no, not at all. It was way more ridiculous.
But he did kill him.
Yeah.
So I could see them trying to retcon that to where it's like, no, a true hero finds another way.
Phantom Venom. That's what he's known for.
That's as good as death. But yeah, so I could see them doing that. So maybe that's why when I saw it, I took it more so as like, I could see them retconning that. Because that was just a super dark way to go. Like I understood it. I didn't have a problem with it, but it was just so weird. It was just like, wait a minute. Why, Zach? Why would you have him snap his neck?
That's what my thing is. I need to know. I don't care what they do. I was fine when they snapped his neck. I didn't care if he did it. It was justifiable for me. My thing is, again, it comes back to, okay, you're bringing back Zod and Feora, apparently. So it's like bringing them both back. So this is more or less, you're still in line with the Henry Cavill Superman. You know what I mean? It's not a different Superman. At least to me, because her suit looks like the Cavill suit, right? It's the same material, at least. And you're bringing back the same actors, to be Zod and Feora.
Well, a lot of people were viewing that as, I get what you're saying, right? And let me preface this by saying what I'm about to say isn't to combat that. I'm just saying how I could look at it both ways. What you're saying makes perfect sense. But you could also look at that as their way of retconning, saying that one happened in spite of the other. So she looks so similar because it is the same world. It's just in this interpretation, there just wasn't.
That's to me the worst case scenario. That what I call that.
Not a fan of it. I'm just playing devil's advocate of.
No, I understand you have to do that, especially with this subject, and you always bring it back up because I understand that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I do, but that is also my worst case scenario.
I'm with you. I think the reason why I love to keep it in my head is because
you don't want to be disappointed,
right? So if it actually happens, I can go. We kind of felt like this was a possibility, right? I don't like it. I never will, but I can't get any angrier than I already am, right? So that's why I'm like, same thing. You know this better than anyone. I kept saying, spoiler alert, that Andrew and Toby weren't going to be in this movie. And you kept saying, Juwaan, but they are. But I kept preparing myself for the idea that if I sit in this movie and they don't show up, I can still appreciate this movie, right? So that's why I'm saying, look, if this is what they're doing, I don't like it. I don't like you getting older for Bruce, younger for the Bat. There's just so much I already don't like. So I'm like, it's just best that I just get over it now. Because here's the thing. If that's what they're willing to do, to retcon Henry and Superman completely out, that means their ideas will only get worse. So my point is, I can't get any angrier than I already am. So mentally for me, they can't possibly top this if that's the route that they go. And even older Bruce, no Clark, you can't get any worse than that. So that's why I'm like, if I keep it in my head, it softens the blow for any other craziness we hear going forward. But it is not something, I just want to make this very clear to you. It is not something I'm saying I want at all. At all. Just want to put that out there. All right. We got more news from My Time to Shine. Hello. This is obviously old, but we never really had a conversation about it. I think we just talked about it off air. Apparently Hulk will be leaving Earth at the end of She-Hulk. Me and AJ had a very long conversation about this. I believe it's super fucking redundant. You just did it. It does not matter what you're trying to retcon to make World War Hulk work. You just put him off planet for the whole same purpose. I left planet. Couldn't be here anymore. Left planet. So My Time to Shine Hello is saying that he's leaving because there's something drawing him off Earth. It's not just like, hey, I want to leave again. I hear you, but he just left Earth. It's like the whole premise, you're doing it again. And again, I'm with you. The mentality is always, let's just see how they execute it. I get it. I'm just saying, you already took concepts of World War Hulk when you put them in Ragnarok. It was a storyline. I told you once they did that, I let go of ever needing to see anything of World War Hulk. So I'm very confused why we're going backwards when you already adapted most of it. You know what I'm saying? It would be like you bring in the mutants and then you do a version of Civil War again. It's like, but we got it. Like we got it. I don't need you to double down on it. But you already knew this news, and like I said, this is not new. But are you at all interested in the storyline of World War Hulk?
Or whatever they're doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because to me it seems like they're gonna utilize Hulk more. We're gonna probably see She-Hulk more involved. Like I said, we've heard rumors that She-Hulk would set it up. And it looks like there's gonna be more monsters involved, more Hulk characters. So I'm like, okay, look, Hulk's finally getting some due. He seems to have gotten gypped out of the whole process. We got World War Hulk. We got parts of it in a Thor movie. It's not a Hulk movie. You know what I mean? And apparently he leaves planet, but not alone. He leaves planet with apparently his son. So it's like, all right, so the two of them leave planet to do what? To go where? I have no idea why, but if he does it, he does it. Cool. I just want to see how they tell the story. Well, whatever story they're willing to tell, I'm willing to accept. I just need to know what the fuck that all means.
Yeah, because I'm like, you already took a important character to the World War Hulk storyline and gave it to Thor. Korg is not a Thor character. It's Hulk's. It was his best friend in the world, the war planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you took it and gave him to Thor. So I'm like, again, that's why I said you took so many elements from it and already utilized it. So I'm like, I don't know what you could actually accurately utilize that you didn't already take pieces of in Ragnarok. That's why I said you're right. It was not a Hulk movie, but you utilize all the best parts of World War Hulk in that movie. That's why I said I kind of feel like, again, I have to wait to see how it plays out. But from the sound of it, it just sounds redundant. You know what I'm saying?
I doubt he's gonna go and start. I don't think the same shit's gonna happen. I think there's all gonna be reasons for why they do what they do and who they fight, and they will return to Earth at some point. But I'm open to whatever. Like I don't know. I know they used a lot of the major parts of that story, but I don't. Again, a lot of these movies are in name only. They're not the whole story. Right. It's something different. So if there is a World War Hulk movie, it'll be their version of World War Hulk. You know what I mean?
I'll say this, because obviously they couldn't, and it's a little dark. But the best parts of that comic, you know what I think the best parts of that comic is. You didn't utilize that, so I'm curious. Do you utilize it now? But I don't know how you go evil Hulk in order to utilize it. So a lot of that, I just can't wait to see what they do with it, because it's like, again, you said it before, numerous MCU movies take parts of the comics. You're absolutely right, but they take the best parts of those comics. In this, the best part of World War Hulk was him coming back and looking to murder everyone. Sounds unlikely they go that route. So that's what I'm
Does
saying.
come back to Earth and but who he wants to murder is not the same people. I mean,
Yes. I assume it would be more bad people, not all the heroes. That's what I'm saying. That's the most intricate part of
it's a
that
different version.
Right.
But like I also said, like I'm very 100% behind the characters not going Super Saiyan in real life, like in the live action. Like I don't need that. I never need.
Come on, Joel.
No,
Just
I
let
don't.
me get it once, bro. Come on.
I'm not a fan of OP. You know I'm not. As long as the character, if you want to get him stronger, whatever, okay, cool. But I don't need him. Like I don't need God characters in a world.
I mean, can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you? I don't need that either. I just need you to utilize Hulk being the strongest Avenger. And I feel like they only did that in the Avengers movie. Ever since then, it's been so many fucking other people. I don't need him to go that strong. Just showcase that he is stronger than your core Avengers you have now, and they have not done that. I don't need him to be OP. I don't need that. I don't need him bright green. I don't need that. But if you're using World War Hulk, you gotta just make him way stronger than you have been. That's all.
And I'm wondering if he's not smart anymore, or maybe there's a mix.
I would love that. You know what? I just want us to go back to Ragnarok Hulk, the Hulk that clearly wasn't an idiot, but he was more childlike. But he could talk. I want that. I always love Hulk being able to talk. I don't like the. I don't like. No, he's not a fucking monkey. Let him talk like that. You know what I'm saying? So I would like it if what you're saying is a combination. So when he hulks back, it takes a portion of his intelligence away. So he's not full Banner, right? But he's not an idiot either. He's not full monster. He's just not. He's more Ragnarok, more so than Avengers.
Because I think his original journey is over. What happened between the original Incredible Hulk and Endgame, that first arc of his journey is over. Mm-hmm. So now it's a new journey. So like it depends on what we already know he can go back to human. So that's already like something different that we haven't gotten into yet. So there's a lot of stuff they're gonna start doing, especially starting in She-Hulk, where we're gonna get, because right now they're the only two active Avengers technically, right? Because it's just Thor and Hulk. Because Hawkeye's basically retired, right?
I'm sorry. You mean of the original? The original.
Yeah, I talk about the original six.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, then yes. Because I was gonna say, well, no, we just saw Captain, but you mean the original? So yes, he's the only. Yes.
Them two. It's him and Thor are the only two active.
Yep.
So them still having movies going forward makes sense, even though they also brought in characters that could replace them more or less and down the line if they wanted to.
Right, but that's why I said it's even more known that Thor won't die in Love and Thunder, because I see exactly what they're doing. What they're doing is, now that you have She-Hulk and female Thor, you've now made it to where they get their own movies and you can just plug in Hulk and Thor without having to give Hulk and Thor more of their own solo movies. You now have the next phase of their individual worlds. So they can now be more mentors rather than, all right, I have to make Thor 5, Thor 6, Thor 7. No, you make female Thor 1, 2, 3, 4, and just loop Thor into that for as long as you want. Same thing with She-Hulk. If she's going to be doing a series for her entire run in the MCU, you can just bring Mark Ruffalo back each time you want. So you're just making it so you don't have to utilize the original Avengers as mainstays. They can be utilized more the way Keaton's being used in the MCU. Right. So they're supporting, not major, so you can sell the next generation. So yeah, so I mean, as soon as that clicked in my brain, I'm like, yeah, no, Thor's gonna be here for fucking forever. As long as Chris Hemsworth's willing to lift weights, he'll be here forever. But the day he doesn't want to be, Natalie Portman, I think, is youthful enough that you can ride that for however long you want to.
You know? I don't know what they call her. Are they gonna call her Thor?
Again, it really depends, because the way Spider-Man made Asgard sound, if you're Thor, do you kind of go, I can't be out and about, I have to be here with my people? Because if he stays in New Asgard as the ruler again,
I
I
don't
do
think it
think
will.
just
I don't think they'll turn like that. I said I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll just take that away from Valkyrie like that.
but that's why I think it won't be a taking away. I think what they might be looking to do is team Valkyrie with Thor. So their goal more so is to protecting everything rather than just focusing in on, because remember, she was hesitant to take it when Thor gave it to her in Endgame. But he was just saying to her, look, I'm not going to be here. So someone has to do it while I go out. I go out and do other things. So I think Thor will be fulfilled in his going out and doing other things by the end of this movie. And that way, if he's king of Asgard, it makes more sense when you see Jane out and Valkyrie out doing things, because then we won't go, well, where the fuck is Thor? We'll know, oh, Thor is here and has to stay here to protect his people. So to me, that just logically makes more sense than you grounding Valkyrie. Like, that to me is just like, well, that doesn't make sense. You should keep the older guy at home and let the youth go out and play. So
I see what you're saying. I feel like that defeats the purpose of making her the king. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I think you're working backwards. You do something like that. It's like people that are excited to see Chris Evans come back and be Captain America. I'm like, and he can't be though. He gave it to Falcon. You can't just take his back. You can't do that. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, well, yes. If what they're referring to is him coming back to stay, if they're pulling a Secret Wars where he's only back for Secret Wars, then he wouldn't come back and take the title from him. It would just be for that appearance. So that's fine. But to me, I'm all about he had his journey. I'm fine. I saw him from inception to the end. That's fine. And I think people get confused when I say that because they're like, well, then what's your problem with Bruce Wayne? Well, you gave me Bruce Wayne at the end and then ended. That's not how you do an arc. Like,
who was arguing that?
Every time I do GVN talk, or anytime I do when I was doing the Wednesday Marvel shows, it was always just like, well, you're saying that you're not fulfilled with Batman's story, but you're fulfilled with Cap and don't need Cap anymore. I didn't say I don't need Cap anymore. They literally began and then ended his story. We saw him young and then grow old with the character. You gave me Bruce Wayne at 50 fucking years old and was telling me that the last 20 years of active service was just thrown out there. We're just supposed to imagine what that was.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, picture not getting Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Picture not getting Avengers. None of that. And just seeing Cap in one Avengers movie and then Endgame, and then they tell you that's it. That's the equivalent. And I'm like, no one would like that. So I'm like, I don't understand why no one gets me when I say
doesn't make sense.
I've seen his whole arc. I'm fine if he never comes back.
I was just saying that today about I mean, it makes even more sense for Keaton to come in and take his place because at least Keaton already has 2 movies of his own.
Right.
Ben never had anything but cameos in that whole run. You know what I mean? So it's nowhere near the same thing. Replacing Superman and Batman at the beginning of this new universe makes no sense in the world.
None.
At all. Like,
None.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it would be like saying, all right, you guys enjoyed Iron Man, right? Yeah, what else we getting? Avengers. Okay. And when we get Iron Man 2? You're not. He's dead. Wait, what? Yeah. We're doing
cameos in the Hulk though.
Right. We're doing Ironheart and War Machine. So you guys have finished up with Iron Man. But we just got him. No, I know. But that's it. That's all we had planned. Nothing else. So I'm like, you guys got to get Iron Man for over 10 years. And you're holding against me the fact that we've seen numerous Batmen over the course of 50 years. That's not the equivalent. It's in a universe. I want to see him from inception all the way through. That's a full story arc. You introducing him at 50 and then saying he's gone at 52. That's not an arc. You know what I'm saying? It's not an arc at all. So, but again, the only reason why, Joel, I say that, because I get where you're coming from. You gave someone a title, now you're stripping a title. The only reason I even bring that up is for 2 reasons. A, because in No Way Home, it did say on the news that there was some craziness going on in Asgard, in New Asgard, rather, sorry. And because it just makes more sense to ground Thor and allow Valkyrie to have some Batman and Robin adventures with female Thor. And that way you could change Thor's name and it make more sense to just call Natalie Portman Thor, not female Thor, just Thor. And I get you. I was joking with my dad about it, and I was just like, Joel hates that, and he was just like, "What's wrong with it?" I'm like, "Because it's Thor is a name, not a title." And he was like, "Well, technically," and my dad is partially right. Technically, Odin made Thor a title when he christened the hammer, because the hammer says, whoever possesses this shall be Thor.
Whoever is worthy,
right,
will inhabit the powers of Thor. But you won't become this blonde bearded man. Got it.
No, but time out. Technically, you will, because that's exactly what happened to Jane. She does become blonde hair and whatnot.
That's what I mean, though. Like, Thor, it's a name. To me, it's a name. It's not a title.
You're not wrong. But also remember, in the comics, Odin never really had the best relationship with Thor. MCU definitely made that a lot more fleshed out than the comics did. In the comics, Odin at that point was just like, fuck it. You're worthy? All right, you're Thor now. It's just like, but what about your son? Fuck him. You're worthy. I don't care about him. So, but all right, let's move on. What do you think about this? My Time to Shine, hello. Is saying that Baron Mordo, that we see is the Illuminati Mordo. That's not our Mordo.
I can believe it. I mean, there's a lot of shit we probably saw that don't make.
Does that upset you to know that the braids are an Illuminati version, not the actual MCU version?
No, because we never know what the new our Mordo is doing. Come back with like different type of hair or fro. Who knows?
Bro, it will be so funny if our Mordo sees the Illuminati version and goes, "Oh shit, I look nice with braids," and then the end credit scene is him just braiding his hair for Joel. Joel's like, "Fuck yeah, go get that long hair."
It's crazy how much you dwell on the hair, more than I do, and it's like I think it's more traditional to the character. It's just more accurate. That's all.
Nah, I fucking love you, Joel. All right. So obviously we've been hearing a lot of rumors about Andrew Garfield coming back. Now the hot rumor is that they want Toby back. At this point,
it's Sony. Sony wants everything. Any stupid rumor about Sony wants this. So what does Sony not want? Then come back to me. Don't ever come start with me. Sony wants everything. As long as Avi Arad is there and Penn, what's her name? They'll want everything.
All right, so let's start.
That's not news.
Let's start this over. You ready? Sony does not currently want Miles Morales.
I doubt it. I highly doubt that.
No, to me, it's just Sony. What are you doing? Like, I don't understand what the means to the end are. Like, are these rumors more true than we know? And is this why Tom Holland in every fucking interview keeps making it sound like he won't continue to be Spider-Man? Because I swear to God, every interview he makes it sound like, whatever is next that they want to do with Spider-Man. And it's like, why do you keep making it sound like you're passing the buck? Like the next Spider-Man we see, not in the MCU, just period, will be a whole nother Spider-Man. Like, I've listened to so many of his interviews, and him and Zendaya just make it sound like this was the end. And I'm like, what is happening? And then you hear this, and you're like, Sony, why? Like, you could just pluck Tom Holland into your Spideyverse that you're building over there, or your villain verse, and just utilize them. I don't understand why I need more Spider-Man.
What they're doing is perfectly fine. Separate it. Now we know it's not together. Don't do it then. I don't trust them. Like, let them do whatever the fuck they want in their universe with Andrew Garfield. Cool. We all love Andrew. He deserves better. He'll get better.
Well, now then,
better, we'll see.
Now then, Joel, the question begs, and again, these are theories, not rumors. Are the theories then possibly true that this Morbius break is possibly more so to kind of link in Andrew Garfield?
I don't care.
So you're not still curious who that Spider-Man on that wall is?
I don't give a fuck. No, I'm more curious about what's going on with Vulture in that movie. That I'm more curious about.
Because that's what I'm saying. We don't know that it's not yet connected till we see Venom. Not Venom.
It's not connected to Tom's universe. It's not.
It all depends then.
We know this now. Why would they do Morbius but not Venom?
Well, Venom was for a second.
A second, Juwaan.
He was, though.
They literally showed him disappear.
They did. Morbius could disappear at the end of this.
So the movie, and he gets disappeared back to his own universe?
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
What's the point of anything we've been saying, Sony?
Well, what would be the point?
Like, Joel, so that's pointless to you, but you ending Venom with Venom being in this MCU and then disappearing him out the MCU just to leave Ooze behind, you could have just had Ooze come down the right way for the MCU. That made less sense.
I'm not saying I agree with what they did. I'm just saying it's now official. It's not the same universe. That's all. I don't know. I don't like what they did. That was stupid. But
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. That's the only reason I'm saying that was just as stupid. That made no sense. I'm like, wait, you brought him in just to explain that there's Ooze?
I honestly felt like that was a shot at Sony. That's like, oh, you thought? No, you're not coming in here. Enjoy the ride. That was all it was.
Because I'm like, you have, and again, we obviously know that they would have to get clearance to do so. But I'm like, the Necromancer sword is being introduced. Again, you could easily say that it's not the same Necromancer sword, which they probably will do. But I'm like, if the Necromancer sword exists, the Necromancer sword would have made more sense to explain how Venom came here than what you did. So if it was a middle finger to Sony, then I could appreciate that. But if they thought that made sense, it did not. That was a waste.
It makes no type of sense.
Yeah,
but that's why I don't care anymore. Because it made so much no sense at all that I don't give a shit what they do. Like, I'm just whatever. I'll watch whatever they throw it out. And if Andrew comes back in the meantime, cool. You know what I mean? I'm more curious what that Ooze, the symbiote that was left behind, what happens with him. Very curious what happens with him. But as of right now, like what Sony's doing, what Morbius is doing, I'm more interested in, like, I don't care. I don't care what they do.
Because that's why I told you, because when you guys were saying, like, yeah, I would love to see if the MCU version of Venom is still Tom Hardy. That's why I said that.
I would love that.
It's still that, and again, theoretically, yes, I get it, but it still would be the weirdest thing because you work so hard in the opposite way. You could have just kept exactly.
It doesn't make sense, but I still would like that.
Oh man, I love Joel. All right, let's move on. Let's get into what we've been watching. The greatest show on television in the past 15 years came back off of its very short break. And yes, in case you guys are curious what I'm referring to, it is Ghost, Power Book 2. The greatest show in the last 15 years with the greatest character in Monet Tahat. No. And Tariq. You know what it is, Joel? I think the more you tell me you don't like the kid, the more the kid is becoming appealing to me. Because each week I'm watching him looking for a reason to dislike him as much as you do.
No, you don't have to look. It's already there. You're looking for nothing.
He's charming me.
He's not charming. He's a piece of shit. I think that I didn't watch this week. I didn't even know it was back.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm glad I didn't start off by saying anything. Okay, no problem.
But I saw a clip with the white boy talking shit to him, and I'm like, you tell him, white boy. Tell him off, because that's exactly the truth. Tell him. Fuck him.
Oh, man. Can I just tell you how much you will not like this episode when you sit through it?
He's out of jail. I'm already upset that the show came back.
Oh, no, it gets worse for you. It gets worse for you. Oh, for sure. It gets better for him. It gets worse for you.
Well, it's got to get better for him. He gets out of fucking jail probably. So it's like, that's already a win.
Okay. How
he's alive. Out of jail. He's out of jail. Worse for you. There's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that. All right, so let me get out of that before I get too comfortable and run my mouth. Did you see Dexter?
Yes.
Okay.
See, I
I
knew
don't know.
that was consistent. That was still on, whereas Ghost took a break.
No. I get you. No, I get you. I was just saying. The only reason I asked is because so much dropped yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it makes sense that you. Only reason I saw is because I don't sleep, so I'm up at 3 a.m. So I was watching it. That's the only reason.
Actually, I should be going to sleep soon.
Yeah, no, we're gonna end this soon. Don't even worry. I don't know. I mean, I guess we talked about that ending happening, but seeing it, I didn't like it. Talking about it is cool, but actually seeing it, yeah, I didn't.
I never wanted to see Dexter die. I always told you that. That's why I know as much as a lot of people hated that last season, I'm like, I don't want to see Dexter die. And so when he was alive, I was like, oh shit, he was still alive. So that part saved the whole last season. But I enjoyed the season. This season has been really good. It's not a spinoff. It's like I don't even know what to call it.
It's a retcon because they're saying it's to fix the final season.
Yeah, but it's not like changing anything from the past. It's adding on to it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, okay. So just a continuation. That's it.
It's like a continuation. But I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way it ended and everything. And yeah, it was questionable shit. Like I'm like literally sitting there, like, what are you doing? Why did you kill? You didn't have to kill him. You couldn't put him to sleep. Like what? Like why'd you kill the man? Like I know he was in a rush and shit. I think and look, everything was crumbling down. I think the cop had a lot to do with that. She was too fucking nosy. I'm like, man, you should have killed her. Not playing.
Bro, I'm telling you, when I saw him rushing out, I thought he was going to try to pin everything on her, like because she had a vendetta against the father. So I thought he was going to kind of try to. The father was clearly a killer. She killed him, right? And then Dexter just walks away scot-free. So when Dexter doesn't go to her and goes right to his son, I'm like, oh, I know where this is going. I know where this is.
Once he killed the cop, it was over. I was like, oh, he's gonna die.
It also made no sense. I also didn't like that. I thought they were just in a hurry to end it. Because I'm like, why did you kill him? Like, what popped in your mind that was just like, I have to leave right this second, and I'm willing to kill.
To get out, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't.
I know he was shooting at you, but like, come on, he was in a really bad position.
Right, but still, even taking him hostage, because you sent her to go find evidence on the guy, right? So that would have bought Dexter enough time, right, for him to be able to get out on bail, and run away. So I'm like, it didn't really seem like there was any. Wait, say it again.
I don't think so. I don't think it would have worked that way. He was fucked. He was really fucked because this guy was coming. There was no legal way he was gonna get out of there without getting caught. There was too much shit on him. She was too hot. Like I'm gonna take you down, and I'm like, it's like I thought you loved me.
I get it, but her whole thing was you're the Bay Harbor butcher, right? And his whole thing was, well, if I'm the butcher, how come you don't have a death to put on me? So that's why I was saying, that's why I thought he was so desperate in telling her, go to Kurt's cabin, you'll see all the bodies. So that would soften the blow on, well, I'm not a murderer. Sure, yeah.
It would have softened it, but it wouldn't. I don't think he would have got away.
No. I don't mean scot-free, but there wasn't enough evidence from her. Now, I don't know what his friend was coming to bring, but from her,
look, as soon as, because like everything was already pointing towards him anyway back then, even though he didn't kill whatever her name was. That was Deb. Deb killed. I remember that. That was sad. But I know he can't even say that he didn't do it because he didn't. But now they're just gonna think that he did. It's all sad. It's all like, fuck, man. Like you fucked up. You did. You know, all those needles. Eventually they caught you. Like, you know, you got caught.
But to me, I feel as though if and I'm just talking about the cop in this town, not everything as a whole. If that's the biggest thing you have on me, I could easily lie my way out of that. I wanted to punish them the way that they punished my son, feeding them their own poison back. That's why I tried to say
that wasn't their drugs though. That was a different drug. That was the drug that they used in for put people to sleep. You know what I mean?
Oh no, right. But remember, he killed that kid by smothering him in that cocaine. So that's what I'm saying.
You try to cover it up.
For that, right? You could at least say that for that.
Tried to cover it up, but again, that needle, bro. It's just there was so much evidence against him. It was just he was fucked, and like I didn't think he had to kill to get out of it. And he could have got away. He really could have. But you know, his son was like, "You killed," and then he got upset. And he's like, "You're right. Everything he said that came into his head. He's like, you know what? Shoot me." Like it's true. It's
he broke his rule. He broke his rule. He never kills for. He never kills unless the person deserves it. So killing that cop broke the rule.
He killed Dokes, and Dokes didn't deserve it.
Dokes also didn't deserve it. No.
So if you get close, but like it's all self-defense at the end of the day. But it still, you know, and it sucks. But and it's sad because it was a great show. Like the show was good. And he got one last kill before he was gone. He was a monster. So he killed one monster before he was taken down by himself, and it was his son. It was poetic. It was a poetic ending. It's very different than how Power did it.
And they ended it in a way that you originally, when we first had this conversation, wanted it to end, where clearly his son does not have the same drive that Dexter has. So you gave
he has something. Yes, he has something, but he can.
No, I just mean in the sense of, at the end of the day, his son could have put aside the death of the coach, but that was really his way of saying, I'm not built for this. Like I get my urges and figure that out, but I'm just not built for all of this. So that's why I'm saying you didn't necessarily want the continuation of
especially at first. Right. I grew up. I was more accepting of it if that's what they were gonna do, because I got to know the character, and I liked Harrison and I liked their relationship. So if they were to ever do it, I'm open to it. But especially in the beginning, I was like, you just gave me Dexter. You want to kill him off? And fuck you. I want Dexter. Harrison.
I'm telling you guys right now, Joel is still waiting for the moment where Tariq feels as though, all right, I'm the man now. And then his dad just walks in and goes, psych, gotcha, bitch. It's my show again. Oh, man, no. They retconned it.
Poetic justice at best.
Bro, I'm telling you, if season 3 of Ghost Power Book 2 starts, or I'm sorry, if season 2 ends with Tariq getting everything he wants, he even maybe starts thinking about the club, and then he's standing in the club, and then you just hear a gunshot and see Tariq fall, and then he looks up and it's just his dad standing over him. I'm telling you, Joel will fight his hardest to make sure this show gets all the awards possible. Joel will go, what do you want? You want a Grammy? What do you want? I'll give you everything.
I don't know how you can explain that. But,
would you really think that much into it, Joel, if you got back what you wanted?
No, I'll be just as happy though if it was Tommy. Fuck you.
Like Tommy just makes a detour and goes, hey, before I leave, I wanted to kill you. Now I'm going to go. But you will like this, Joel. You only have a few more episodes left of this season. Because Tommy is within like the first 2 weeks of February.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And the trailer actually just dropped today for Tommy. It looks good. It looks really good. I can't wait. And boy, does Tommy know how to find some black people. That man is gifted. No matter where he goes. He's just like, where is the black? I can't do these white. Where's the blacks here?
He walks the world on the blacks.
he would be the guy to walk into a black bar and just go, all right, where's the blackies at that want to help me sell some drugs? And it's just like, whoa, what? I mean, I do, but what? Don't just assume that. But I am very excited. Oh, wow, Alabama lost.
Did they?
Yeah, Georgia won.
Wow, about time. Fucking every year seems like it's a sad moment.
I'll say this, any Patriot fan is excited by that news. That means the curse is still on. Anytime Alabama wins a championship, New England loses. Anytime Alabama loses, New England wins a championship.
Well, let's just hope that doesn't continue.
Shut your mouth, Joel. Shut your mouth.
For what's good, we're all good in this world.
Oh, this is what I wanted to say before we head off. I want you to check this out, Joel. This show, and it's a movie I found out. I just found out about this. You probably already knew about it. Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see it before?
I know what it is. I've never actually watched the whole episode.
Okay. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. So for our audience, really quickly, and then we're going to get out of here. Between Two Ferns is a comedy, like a comedy spoof talk show that Zach created with Will Ferrell. And it kind of showcases on funny till you die. What is the website? Funny or die, something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what this show is Zach has a talk show where he has Will Ferrell gets all his celebrity friends to come on the talk show. And all Zach does is shit talk to them. Right? So like on one of the episodes, he had Hillary Clinton. And he's like, all right, before you go, Hillary, what's the best way to keep in contact? Should I email you? And then like she just gives him like the deadliest stare. The deadliest stare ever. So they actually made it into a Netflix movie called Between Two Ferns. And it's a movie where it shows just clips of these interviews. But on YouTube, if you type in Between Two Ferns, it's the full episodes of these said interviews. He's interviewed Jerry Seinfeld. In the middle of it, he said, all right, enough of you. Cardi B is here. And he moves Jerry Seinfeld over and just starts interviewing Cardi B. Yeah. He had Barack Obama where they did it in the White House. He's just had so many great guests that he has just made horrible. And just so obviously, so everyone knows, none of it's real. When you watch the movie at the end, they show you a lot of the behind the scenes where they're joking. Brie Larson is the worst one they've done. She just couldn't keep it. It looked like she knew it wasn't serious. She was the only one that didn't really buy into it. Hell, he interviewed Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt hocked a loogie in his face. Like, I mean, straight up, and just spit at him. So a lot of these people take it really seriously. David Letterman was really serious. Zach kept asking him about his penis, and he goes, I've never done an interview where someone's this interested in my penis. What is wrong with you? It is legit the funniest thing ever. I suggest everyone go watch it. Excuse me. It's the funniest thing ever. So Joel, I'm gonna send you as many as possible. I want you to check it out so we can talk about it the next time we get on air together. It's side splitting.
I'm still in the middle of Hot Ones. So.
Oh yeah. See, Hot Ones again. I really do appreciate because you get a side of these celebrities you don't usually get.
Right.
And like I said, Sean usually brings up something that even the celebrity goes, wait a minute. How did you know I used to piss the bed? Like, that's very specific. Did you talk to my mom? No, we can't reveal our sources, but just know that we know you used to piss yourself. And it's like, God damn, okay. All right, shit. But no, Hot Ones is great. I can't wait till you get all the way to now and you can watch the Tom one. Because when I tell you, when me and Joe were talking about it, we were just like, this isn't Tom Holland. This is someone else. This is a scroll. Like, the man is just so different than when you see him in interviews. He's cursing, and it's just like, who are you? Like, I like it, but Jesus.
Right.
But yeah.
Everyone asks me if I seen Tom Holland one. I'm like, I'm started from the beginning. So I'm on season 4. So it's like the end of 2017 is where I'm at. I don't even remember the last person I watched. I watched so many at this point that I lost track.
To blend.
Yeah, which is the best one? I don't even have to. Like, I don't know. When I'm done, I could probably go back and think about it. It's all one thing right now.
I think the more recent you get, the more those will stand out. Like the Shaq one will stand out for you. Idris Elba one will stand out for you. Like those will be imprinted because it's just so hilarious when you see their reaction.
There've been some good ones so far. Damn, I did Artie Lang recently. That was.
I fucking love Artie Lang.
That was.
Man. My dad used to always have me listen to Howard Stern back in the day, and Artie was such a fixture for that.
I used to before it was, when it was free.
Yes to that.
Oh, you know what was funny?
What?
I was going through my Who I Have Left. Because I could have went there, but literally like 2 people before him was Bob Saget. I was like, I'm gonna choose right there.
Yes.
Like with the timing,
Saget.
like he was right there.
Yeah, man.
I'm not there
Bob
yet, but
Saget. That hurts, man. We've had a rough 2 weeks losing Betty and then Bob and Sidney Poitier. Like, goodness gracious.
John Madden.
Sidney Poitier was the first black male to openly slap a white man in a movie. That was just beautiful. Yeah. That slap was just poetic. He slapped the shit out of that guy. The guy was just, oh, you slapped me back. Yeah, bitch. Keep your hands off me. Like, don't you slap me. But no, so make sure you guys check out Hot Ones. Try to do what Joel's doing from the beginning. It's worth it. Trust me, it's definitely worth it to see as many as possible.
Yeah, I have done it. It's not easy because there's a lot of them.
But they're good. So it's not like
you get to meet new people, technically. Like, there are a lot of people I've never heard of on this film. Who the fuck is that?
Right.
There's a lot of musicians I never heard of. Look, Wale is next. I know Wale, but he's next. He's on the docket. And then Bob Saget.
I would have been really sad if you told me you didn't know Wale. I would have cried. I would have cried right on the show.
That was before Wale. It was Gabrielle Union. So that was the last one I watched.
Yeah, that's a good one. What was I gonna say?
I don't know, dog.
No, so that's really it. But yeah, so Joel's suggesting Hot Ones. Check out Hot Ones if you have not seen any episodes of Hot Ones. Check that out. I'm suggesting Between Two Ferns. I promise you guys, hearing all the negative stuff Zach wrote up for these celebrities will always be the funniest fucking thing ever. Especially when you see how he separates the names. He separated Benedict as Ben a Dick Cumberbatch. Oh my god, it's the funniest thing. The Paul Rudd one was golden, where he's just like, what advice would you give young and upcoming Jewish actors about how to hide that they're Jewish? He's just like, I don't hide that I'm Jewish. And he's like, I don't think many people know you're Jewish, Paul Rudd. I think you're hiding that you're Jewish.
I didn't know Paul Rudd was Jewish.
No one knew Paul Rudd was Jewish. That's the greatness of the show, Joel. That's the greatness of the show. Wait, come out. Last one I'm going to say, and then we're getting out of here. He starts the Benedict interview by saying, so what was that about Martin Freeman being the best part about Black Panther? And he's like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, that's such a weird thing to say to somebody that you just met. That's weird. Anyway, you guys ready? All right. Welcome to Between Two Ferns. And Benedict is just like, what the hell was that? And he's just like, that's weird.
It's so awkward.
He's like, don't make me seem racist. I didn't say that. He's like, no, it's fine. It's fine that you did. It's cool. I will send you the link for it. Excuse me. But that's it. All of our superhero shows. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I said I'll probably start it from the beginning.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna send you from the beginning. You could do the movie first, whatever you decide you want to do. The episodes of the movie, whatever. But we'll be talking about a whole bunch more of geek stuff next week, guys. Don't worry. All of our superhero shows start this week. Naomi, Batwoman, Superman and Lois, all that is this week. I keep saying I don't want to leave out Legends because you still watch Legends. So all that's coming back this week. So we'll have a whole lot more to talk about next week as far as this geek stuff. And look, we'll get more info on Batgirl by this time next week, whether it's just small stuff, big stuff, whatever. We'll find out more, because if we get that shot of Robin, a casting if Robin or Nightwing is in this movie, that won't be able to be hidden for long. So we'll get something to that soon.
I do want something for us to think about for the week, so that we can come back next week and give us our top 5, right?
Okay.
So I have an idea for top 5 most anticipated castings, DC and Marvel.
Okay. Oh,
that's hard. That's hard though.
I have that. I just base it off of characters that I've been dying to see. So yeah, I have that.
That's usually how it works. But
2 out of my 5 come from the same movie. So yeah, that'll be pretty easy for me.
Yeah. And then I want to do, after we do For me, it's harder. I don't know. I definitely have at least one, but then I want to know which 5 you think will break the internet. Like ranking from highest to, you know what I mean?
See, that's tougher.
That's hard. Yeah,
that's tougher because like Silver Surfer will break the internet, but only depending on the casting. Like you can't just cast anyone for that. Like someone up and coming, because that won't break the internet. But Silver Surfer coming will break the internet, but the casting necessarily won't. So that might be a little harder. But actually figuring out most anticipated castings, I already have 10 in my head, 5 for each. Yeah, I already have them. I think about this way too often. So I'm ready for it. It was like you were speaking to my brain. You're like, yeah, let's do it. And my brain was like, oh, we're ready. We're ready. Cool. So I'm gonna just put in my notes and I'll be ready for next week.
Cool. That's what I want to do. Because I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, oh, that would be great. That'd be great. That'd be great. That'd be fun. Who's gonna? Yeah, I like that.
Okay. All right. And as far as just in our text, I want us to do that. What you did for the new Justice League, for the new Avengers, and then I talked to AJ. What would we name that Star Wars team? And he's like, well, technically, it's like the Filoni-verse. It's called the Filoni-verse. I'm like, well, it is, but I meant more so, what would that team name be? Like how there's the Avengers, what would that team name be?
There is no team. That's the thing. They're all separate.
But we know what the team will be.
What will it be?
Ahsoka, Din, Grogu. Depends on if they still want to utilize Luke at that point. Sabine. I don't know. It really depends on where this season goes for Boba, but maybe Boba. It's any good guy you've seen in the live action of this connected universe.
Within that timeline.
Right.
So we can't use
they will come together.
No Andor, no Obi-Wan.
No, they are both super dead. So no, not at all. No one dead. So yeah, we'll talk more about that in the text tomorrow, but let's get out of here. Let's go get some sleep. That's really all we got. I'm glad you left us with a task. This is a task I will revel in. So I cannot wait. I will find a way for us to utilize this topic much sooner. But I'm super excited for it, and we will see you guys same time, same place. Till then. Peace.